Welcome to another video from PED.com. I'm StevieB, happy to have you all with me today as I am still hunting me some dubbies. That's right, I'm still out here hunting some fowl. Rank 18, headed to 26 at some point. So today I want to make a video talking about probably one of the most frustrating parts of this game, and that is that you will never really loot the things that you want to loot to use. You're going to just loot things that you want to loot to sell. And you guys will see what I mean by that here in a minute. So today I got home from work and I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping. I've been breaking some very bad habits that reach back decades, and it's really messed with my sleep schedule lately. So that mixed with everything else that I'm already dealing with in real life, I kind of figured if my life was going to be a nightmare, why not make it an absolute nightmare? I mean, if it's already a nightmare that you can't escape and you're already dealing with a lot, why not break some bad habits while you can, make some good habits in the process? And that's really messed with my sleep schedule. So instead of getting home from work and going directly to sleep, I got home from work and I logged in and I wanted to do a little bit of exploring. I wanted to try and just look at a couple of things I thought about while I was at work and see if maybe I could do a few things different in game today. Maybe focus on a couple of different videos and figure out which subject I really wanted to cover. And one of the things that I was looking at was, we know that the other day that that improved Justifier FEN edition dropped, that amazing 95% efficiency super weapon. I've been saying that it dropped from a drone exterminator. I was incorrect. I believe that the correct thing is a drone elite. Now, a drone elite is level 63, has about 6,300 HP. A drone exterminator is level like 91, has like 10,000 HP. I've been saying it dropped from a drone exterminator. I believe the correct information is it dropped from a drone elite, so level 63 instead of 91. And I was thinking today, is that potentially even a mob that I could hunt? Not very effectively, not well, but could I do it at all? Would it be realistically possible given my skill level, depending on how I set everything up? So I wanted to check it out. Now, Drone Exterminator level 91 and Drone Elite level 63 are kind of mixed together. And guess where they are? Zykion Citadel, my home away from home, the place that I've probably spent more time than anywhere else in game. So I was actually going to make a video called How to Play Entropia the Wrong Way. And I was going to go try and hunt some level 63 drone elites and show you guys what not to do. Essentially the thing that most players want to do, which is hunt way above their skill level. And just to see if I could even pull it off, I went and I used my visual anti-armor with plates. Now, there is better limited armor you could get for such a task. Better limited plates you could get, like AP plates. But I just pulled out my visual anti-armor plus plates, and I just went and bothered a level 63 drone elite. Not even an exterminator. And it one-shotted me. So there was no way I was going to be able to make that video. But in doing that, and checking that out, I got there, and there were several higher-level players that were there specifically hunting drone elites and drone exterminators. They were trying to get another one of those improved justifiers to drop. They were trying so hard. So I just kind of hung out to see what they were doing and how they were doing it. There was one player that was there hunting the level 91s almost exclusively. He wasn't even going for the elites that he knows dropped it last time. He was going for the exterminators, the big boys, 10,000 HP level 91. And this player was wearing very, very, very expensive unlimited armor. I'm talking armor that's probably 40, 50,000 PED. And he was using a great Argonaut Claw FEN. So a very, very, very expensive, very, very high DPS, very, very high DPP, very, very high tier, probably filled with damage enhancers weapon. And he had another player with him wearing equally expensive armor, using a very, very expensive FAP. I'm sure it was probably a mod 2600. Another player showed up who was also wearing expensive armor and using an expensive high tier, high damage per second weapon. I don't know if it was high damage per pec, but it was high damage per second. and was just trying to tank level 63 drone elites, and also had a healer with them, also wearing expensive armor, also with an expensive app. So in seeing that, I know what they're doing. They're trying to get one of those justifiers to drop. They're doing the same thing I wanted to do. The difference is they have the skills to do it, and they were properly equipped to do it. I would not have been. So this brings me to the point of today's video. What's very, very frustrating about Entropia for a lot of players, and it's just a fact of life you have to get used to, is by the time you're able to loot something, it's probably something you're no longer going to really need. That is because this game works on off of a real cash economy. So I'm kind of stumbling over myself today. If you could just go out and loot whatever you needed, there would be no real point for you to buy everything from somebody else. You would be highly, highly incentivized to just go loot all your own stuff, right? And now that's going to take time, and there's a lot of people that would rather just spend money than spend the time. However, generally speaking, if you could just go loot all the stuff that you want, then there really wouldn't be any need for an economy. Everybody would just kind of go do their own thing the majority of the time, unless it was convenience, in which case the only economy would really be a convenience fee. So essentially the way the game is set up is that you're going to have to buy the stuff that you want from somebody else. And the person who's selling it most likely was able to loot it because they no longer need it. So what I mean by that is this. The guy that is using the Great Argonaut Claw FEN to try and tank level 91 drone exterminators has extremely high defense skills. He's got an extremely high efficiency, extremely high damage per peck, extremely high damage per second weapon. He's got an extremely expensive set of armor, an extremely expensive FAP. He has made a lot of investment in game, skills, and knowledge to even be able to go hunt that mob. So that doesn't mean he can't use a 95% efficiency, 80 damage per sec weapon. He would love to have a Justifier improved Twin Edition. That's why he's out there hunting it. However, he's already got in-game gear. He's already got an in-game weapon. He's already got all the stuff that he would need, so that Justifier is actually in a way below his level, below his needs. He's not looting it necessarily to use it. He's probably trying to loot it to sell it to a player who does not yet have in-game weapons, who does not yet have in-game gear. And because he has made those investments in time, skills, knowledge, weapons, armor, etc., there's a chance he may actually do so. There is virtually no chance that I'm going to be able to go take out those level 91 drone exterminators, those level 63 drone elites, and even have a chance of looting it. For me to do that, I would have to buy very, very expensive limited armor. I would probably have to go with a limited weapon instead of my unlimited setup that I prefer to use. The weapons that I would need would probably be at the very top end of my skill level. I would have to hire a healer that either already had the same very expensive kind of FAPs and the same very expensive armor that the healer he was using had, or I would have to get very expensive limited stuff to give to the healer. So with it being beyond my skill level, with it being beyond my setup level, it really is kind of beyond my reach, beyond my ability to even try. Which, again, this brings us back to why the economy works. If somebody else loots it and I want it bad enough, I will purchase it. The person looting it probably doesn't actually need it. Doesn't mean they couldn't use it. Doesn't mean they wouldn't be happy to keep it and use it. But it's just much more likely that they will sell it instead, right? And this is very frustrating because naturally, whenever we have something that we want or need in-game, we want to go get it ourselves. We want to go out there and farm it. We want to go collect our own resources. And there's a very human psychology to that. A very self-sufficient, very independent psychology. But like any good economy, it doesn't necessarily work that way. In fact, it's almost set up so that it cannot work that way. That way we don't end up with a game full of people farming all the stuff they need. I could go right now to Orthos Oilfield and I could slaughter a whole bunch of prototype drones, and I could get all kinds of low-level Azuros and Rubios and B101 amps to drop for me. Little known secret among new players, if you go to Orthos Oilfield, the non-lootable PvP area just north of Camp Icarus, it's full of very, very, very low-level, low HP prototype drones, and they drop a bajank load of limited weapons for new players. Azuros, Rubios, B101 amps. I know many a player that have gone there, used TT weapons, farmed some Azuros, Rubios, and B101 amps, gone back to Icarus and sold them. Now, you're not going to be able to sell them for much, but I've known quite a few players that was the very first way they started making PED in-game, while actually getting some skills up in the process. Now, do I have any need for Azuros, Rubios, and B101 amps? No, I have absolutely no need. In fact, at one point, I had literal storage containers full of them, and I just TT'd them because I didn't need them. Could I go hit out some level 8 Defender prototypes and get a whole bunch of low-level ISIS LLP weapons to drop for me? Yeah, I did it the other day just to see what their loot mix was like, and you know what I did with them? I just TT'd them all because I don't need a whole bunch of 5, 6, 7 damage per second weapons clogging my inventory. Likewise, there are people out there that they're hunting level 40, 50, 60, 70 creatures, and the loot that they're getting out of them isn't necessarily stuff that they need. Now, again, that doesn't mean that whenever those players loot those items, they don't want them. There's a lot of players that would be very, very happy, regardless of their skill level, regardless of their investment level, to get an improved FAP, or an adjusted FAP, or a mod FAP, or a high-efficiency weapon, or any twin item for that matter, and probably try and use it before they sell it. But generally speaking, if they're capable of looting those things, generally speaking, they don't need it. Doesn't mean they don't want it. They just don't necessarily need it. So that's a very hard part of Entropia to get used to because A, you just naturally want to go farm your own items, and B, it's just so annoying sometimes when you can't. Especially when it's something you really, really want to at least try for. Like me, I would be the prime customer for Mindark. I would love to go try some level 63 drone elites and just take a chance on maybe getting one of those improved justifiers to drop. I would probably spend some decent money doing it. However, the skills just aren't there, and for me to even attempt it, I would need a whole new setup. Armor, FAP, plates, weapon, you name it. So it just does not make sense for me to even try. Now, there are players that will spend a bajank load of money on all of those things, and then they will go try, but they're not going to succeed. The odds of getting one of those to drop, even with a proper setup, even with proper skills, is so ridiculously low, it's akin to winning the lottery. However, if you've got the setup, if you've got the skills, if you're one of those guys that I saw out there earlier, that's exactly what they should be doing. They're hunting the exact right thing. They're playing exactly how they should be playing for that 1 in a billion chance that they can get it to drop. Because if they can, they're going to make some serious money doing it. However, for the rest of us, it's just beyond even attempting. It's nice as a pipe dream. However, it's just not worth attempting. My time is better off hunting these level 4 foul because I'm convinced that there is a twin item somewhere in a lower level creature. And looking at the twin items that have dropped, I think it's not just something like the Apollo or Opala, however you say it, twin. I think there's some Mind Force chips twin edition. I think there's armor twin edition. I think there's all kinds of twin edition stuff, and I'm convinced some of that is in lower level mobs. Plus, I'm actually looting things that I want and need to loot from these foul. There's a reason I'm doing this. It's not just to get twin items. It's not just on a hope that there's a twin item in the foul loot pool. I actually need to be hunting foul right now. There's some very, very specific reasons for that. But I'm convinced that there are twin items in lower level stuff like a level 4 foul. Like maybe a level 5 Argonaut. I don't think every twin item is going to drop from some monster level mob. I think a lot of the good ones are, but not all of them. But I wish I could try some drone elites and go for a chance at a justifier, but the odds of it happening would be literally 1 in a billion anyway. So it's a very frustrating part of the game to get used to, but it's also a very necessary part of the game if this game is going to continue to function on a real cash economy. So that being said, if you're in that position where you want to go blow out your PED card hunting way above your skill level, go for it. There are people that do it all the time. I've never heard of anybody doing it successfully. I've heard of people doing it, having a lot of fun doing it, and then regretting it and not being in game anymore. But I've never heard of anybody going out and blowing a lot of money to hunt above their skill level and above their setup level and it going well for them. However, they have had fun. However, if you are planning to stay for the duration, if you're here to play this as a game of years, just get used to the fact that you're going to have to hunt directly underneath your level. It's going to be things that your evade and your dodger are vastly higher than their skill level are. It's going to be things that most people would probably go, well, why are you hunting that when you could hunt something way bigger? That's just the nature of the game. You have to adapt to how the game is designed, how the economy is designed. And if it's designed to work this way, even though it may not be how we want it to work some way, that's what we kind of have to adapt to, right? So that being said, I sucked it up and I just came back to hunt me some level 4 fowl, and I'm going to keep hunting me some level 4 fowl. Now, I might go knock out some level 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 drone here and there, but I'm not going to go knock out a level 63 drone exterminator. I did a while back come up with the idea of StevieB's Fight Club. As you guys know, whenever I came up with that idea, I was working 186 days straight. We have not got to do that yet. We will still be doing that at some point if I can ever get real life to calm down for me, and if I can ever get my work schedule to calm down for me. I would still love to do the Fight Club, and there are plenty of mobs that I would love to do a Fight Club on. However, the level 63 drone exterminators, or level 63 drone elites and level 91 drone exterminators would not be a good mob to choose, just because of various factors. The loot that they drop, the loot mix that's even in the loot pool, the very low odds of getting a justifier to drop, the extreme high level, and the way that they do their attacks, both ranged and close combat. It would just not be a good Fight Club type setup. So can't do that. But that being said, I'm happy with the fowl. I have had more fun having decent returns and a decent loot mix than I've ever had blowing out my PED card and being disappointed. I've tried both. Christmas, I definitely tried blowing out my PED card, and I was successful. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I finished the Regulite chain. I was able to tank a lot of mobs and get a lot of codex and get a lot of mayhem tokens, which was the goal. However, it was not as much fun as it would have been had I not had to blow out my PED card to do it. In fact, I kind of hated it. So that's just my personal preference of style. If your thing is blowing out your PED card, by all means ignore the advice I just gave. However, if you are trying to play smarter, not harder, and make your money work for you better, I highly suggest hunting well below your skill level and having a setup that far exceeds what your needs are going to be. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Head over to earnped.com, because when you earn, we earn. That's by far the best way you guys can help support us. Just log into your EarnPed account, go to the EarnPed website, and on the EarnPed website, there are links that will take you to the Hideout.tv videos. Use those links. It will take you directly to Hideout.tv. Hideout.tv will know that you came from our website, and it will add earnped.com as a drop-down option for you to redeem your Hideout points to earnped.com. Very, very easy to do. Also, be sure and subscribe to the channel. Be sure and like all the videos, because there's always a hater out there hitting the dislike button every single time I upload a video. Never fails. And hit that bell icon so you guys know when we post new content. When you guys do those three things, when you hit the bell icon, when you like the videos, and when you subscribe to the channel, you're telling YouTube that it needs to show our videos to more people who play MMOs, to more people who are interested in real cash economy games. It gets our channel and our videos more exposure, and a lot of times that's the first time people have ever heard of Entropia Universe. They watch the channel, they become a Stevie, they sub, they hit the like button. Next thing you know, they're downloading Entropia. Now they're at Camp Icarus. Now they're part of the economy. Now they're part of the game. Now they're part of the community. So when you do those things, you're not just helping us. You're not just helping the channel. You're helping the game, the economy, the community, and therefore you're helping yourself. In fact, the person that sees this video because you hit that like button or you hit that subscribe button may just be the person that you end up selling something to next week. So don't just help us out. Help yourself out in the process. We'll leave it there for today. We've got a lot more coming for you guys later this week. For now, sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Take care, Stevies.